Happy 75th anniversary, Keesler Air Force Base. I'm Colonel Michelle Edmondson, and I'm privileged to command this beautiful installation and lead the men and women of the 81st Training Wing.
And I'm Chief Master Sergeant Vegas Clark, the Command Chief of the 81st Training Wing. The 75th anniversary of the installation is a huge milestone in the history of Keesler Air Force Base.
Our mission here at Keesler is to train, develop, and inspire the world's best airmen, and we've been doing just that since the gates opened in 1941.
We are honored to be a part of the Gulf Coast community, and this year, with their help, we have honored the spirit of Lieutenant Keesler, the legacy of great warriors that have come before us, the history being made today by the airmen currently stationed here, and the future of every single airman that has yet to walk through the gates of Keesler Air Force Base.
Thank you. Thank you to every airman, soldier, sailor, Marine, and Coast Guardsman who have sworn to protect and defend our nation. The spirit of the men and women who have given everything, just like Lieutenant Keesler, lives on in every one of you, and we thank you for the commitment you have made to yourselves, your families, and your nation. Happy 75th anniversary, Keesler Air Force Base.
Biloxi, Mississippi was a very different place 75 years ago. In the late 30s, the average household income was right around $1,000 annually, and most were lucky to have made that after the last decade of depression, dust bowls, and prohibition. With the nation gearing up for war, local and state government were able to convince Washington to designate a new training base in Biloxi. What had been a makeshift airport, a Navy shipyard, a golf course, and private land totaling 40% of Biloxi's landmass was sold to the U.S. government to form what became the Army Air Corps Station No. 8 in 1941. In the early days, buildings were being constructed, and Army Air Corps Station No. 8 was growing fast. By August 1941, the first group of recruits arrived for basic training, and by September, the Airplane and Mechanics School began operation. Army Air Corps Station No. 8 was designated Keesler Field in honor of 2nd Lieutenant Samuel Reeves Keesler, Jr., a Mississippi World War I war hero. Keesler grew up in Greenwood, Mississippi, and fought in World War I as an aerial observer with the Army Air Service. He was killed in 1918 after his plane crashed behind German lines. It was customary to name bases after fallen war heroes from the era, and 2nd Lieutenant Samuel Reeves Keesler, Jr. was a perfect fit. The Air Force became its own branch of the military in 1947, and in January of 1948, Keesler became an official Air Force base. Shortly after, Keesler was designated an Air Training Command installation. After the war, Keesler had proven itself as a training mecca and took charge over the radar school and radio operations. By the early 1950s, Keesler shifted its focus away from airplane and mechanics courses and focused more on training and technology. As a result of the Air Force's drawdown after the Cold War, Keesler was able to absorb courses in weather forecasting, meteorology, and precision maintenance electronics laboratory training. At the same time, the 81st Tactical Fighter Wing, redesignated the 81st Training Wing, was relocated to Keesler and became our host organization. With so much emphasis on classroom and technology, dormitory housing had gone unchanged for over 4 decades. The Triangle Vision Project was implemented to update and condense the 50s-era training dormitories to the modern age. The resulting buildings are advanced, spacious, and secure. Keesler and the whole Gulf Coast was rocked to its core in late 2005 by Hurricane Katrina. While Keesler had fared well in the storms of the last century, Katrina caused close to $1 billion in damage to the base alone. Even with such a heavy blow to the base, airmen poured into the local communities to help the city that had embraced them for so long. And Keesler bounced back better than ever. Keesler now has stunning new on- and off-base housing, a state-of-the-art commissary and base exchange, new dorms, and a luxurious Bay Breeze event center. For 75 years, Keesler Air Force Base has been a significant part of Biloxi and the entire Gulf Coast. It is one of our 4 primary Air Force training bases, and as the Electronics Center of Excellence is where all cyber training begins. The base is also host to the 403rd Wing, which is the home of the Flying Jennies and the Hurricane Hunters. Students enrolled in training courses on the base include Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard personnel. Additional students include Defense Department civilians and international students from allied nation partners. The training center handles more than 28,000 students annually, and with 300-plus courses that cover 31 different career fields that include electronic systems, computer systems, information management, air weapons control, air traffic control, 7 enlisted medical specialties, graduate medical education, and specialized programs in cyber systems operations and cybersecurity. The men and women assigned to Keesler have been an integral part of the Biloxi community since the base's activation. In 2014, Keesler provided an estimated $1.65 billion in total economic impact to the state of Mississippi through its jobs, contracts, services, and retirees' pensions. A commitment to serve is evident as Keesler personnel volunteered more than 139,000 hours to agencies and events on base and in the local communities. Team Keesler is very proud of its 75-year heritage and the significant role we play in training our country's present and future warfighters. Keesler remains committed to having a world-class installation, with the best-trained airmen in the world's best Air Force. We care for our airmen, and we will continue to create the very best quality of life for them and their families.